Siyazihlonipha, yes, songa siyazihlonipha. Welcome back. You're watching Trending SA on SABC3 and on TrendingSA.tv. Now, tonight's MCM guest has twerked his way into our hearts since his debut as a contestant on SABC1's Dance Your Butt Off. You didn't tell me that. He's gone on to host various TV and radio shows and recently joined the Metro FM family. The song Bad and Bougie was definitely made for him. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Bujy Bikwe! Hello, darling. Hello, darling. Hello, darling. Welcome, Bujy. Welcome, Angel. You're so dramatic. You're so handsome. Firstly, before you answer and say thank you, Kuli, tell us about the song.
The song is by my sister.
Oh, wow.
And then I helped her write the song when she was going through a divorce. And so she's up and coming, still new in the game. Her name is Rudolph, very close to me. We even stay together, Rudolph.
Nice,
We even stay together and yeah.
Nice.
So she's very dear to me.
Good, my angel.
You guys look exactly alike, by the way.
Is it?
Does she also have a beard?
Pictures?
Yes.
No, she came to your show. Yes, she did.
Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m.
Hi.
Plug away, plug, baby, plug.
Putting it out there.
Plug.
Nangla, your sister's got an interesting name, but your name, Bujy, is not on your birth certificate. Where's that name from?
It's from YFM.
Oh, okay.
When I started on radio, they said I used to call myself Big J.
Shononos.
And then they were like, no, it's not gay enough.
Okay.
No, like, it's not gay enough. And so I sat there, I was just like, okay, so should I find something bougie?
Yeah.
And then they said, bougie it is. And then like spell bougie, and I was like, B-U-J-Y. Like, that's not how you spell bougie. Like, I don't care. But to me, B-U-J-Y, it shall be bougie. But yeah.
Makes sense.
Right, so you were born in Zimbabwe. Your dad is Zimbabwean, your mom is South African. And in as much as they're all black people, there are obviously some cultural differences. So tell us about the home you grew up in.
I grew up at Kabegwi Tavern #1.
Tavern, Sporto.
Sporto.
People were working.
Yes,
People were working.
and I'm from a very loving family, but I'm more closer to my mother's side because that's the side that we know.
Yes.
Oh my God, that picture.
Which one is you in a momo?
Oh, Wema.
I know exactly where that is.
Please don't tell us.
Gold Reef.
Gold Reef, yes.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
Hangout spot.
So I'm from a very loving family, very, very fun, closer to my mother's side, and then my father's side, I don't want to lie. So we came to South Africa because my mom wanted to come back home.
When we came to South Africa, it's like around the corner.
Well, when we came to South Africa, so we came to South Africa when I was like 4 years old, you know, and well, my life is literally here. Yeah.
So, okay, SABC1's Dance Your Butt Off was your big break, where you even made top 4, baby. And then since then, you went into content producing for both television and in radio. How would you describe your experience in the entertainment industry as a whole?
I'm extremely hands-on.
Nice.
You know, I'm extremely hands-on.
We're still talking about work, ne?
Yeah. I'm extremely hands-on with everything that I do. Doing Dance Your Butt Off, I did it because I wanted to be popular.
Okay.
And I didn't understand that it was going to come because I was still at YFM at that time. I was still doing my thing, but I wanted to be national. Okay. So I literally went out of my way to get into the show. Next thing I knew, coming out of that house, and by the way, I forced myself to be kicked out of the house.
You had enough.
I was tired. I didn't care about the 100,000 rands cash. I was like, I still have a job. I think I've achieved what I wanted to do. Next thing I know, when I'm out of that house, I am the most popular person under the sun. People are screaming my name, and I'm just like...
How were they? Bougie?
It was hectic to a point where my mom used to complain all the time. To say, I cannot walk with you anywhere because now everybody's hogging you. Like, you know, now you belong, you're this newfound national treasure, you know. And it was that journey with me. Yeah.
You just mentioned that you're pretty hands-on, and, you know, we've seen that you started to dabble and dibble a little bit in, you know, film. creating short stories, both writing and directing, which is huge.
Thank you.
And before we get into that, let's check out your latest project that got to air on television. It's called Pasta Bay. Hey, these Pasta Bays out here.
Pasta B.
Hallelujah.
Pasta. Akusikho linye ukwenza ubugebengu.
Baba, nathi sacela ukwazi ukuthi bandla kanti wehlanini esihlalweni.
Nami ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi umfundisi omusha simthola nini. Lo mgulukudu wakho webhantinti ubuyile. Ubuyile.
Yeah. Sifuna ukuthi uqine inyoka yethu vale licheche lakho angithola.
How did this world come about? I mean, we know you from radio. I mean, being on a television show, film, short stories, directing.
So proud.
It's a completely different world. How did this come about?
I was getting a lot of no's in the industry, you know, in terms of going to auditions and also with the channel that I was with on pay TV as well. I was just getting a whole lot of no's and I became so frustrated. I called like a whole big meeting to say, okay, cool, what are you guys gonna do with me? Then the other guy was like, you said you have a production company, how about you start with your own stories? And then because I fight for everything that I have in the industry, and sometimes being undermined really hurts me, but I'm like, I'd rather focus on the bigger goal, because I know better, understand better. A lot of young people in the industry don't even think as far as directing, as far as producing, as far as writing. And let me tell you, when I wrote that movie, I was literally on my iPad and that data. And I was writing the whole script and the whole presentation, and then I submitted, and then channel was like, okay, cool, come through. And this is my second movie, by the way.
Wow.
The first one was called Jealous Makhelwane with Mam Linda.
Love her.
Yes. So I did it. So I worked with her. The first one, then the second one is Pasta Bay, and then there's still the third one coming.
And the fourth. Congratulations.
And the fourth and the fifth, and
Keep growing.
You spoke about you and your mom's relationship, saying you were closer to her side of the family, but you were quite close with her as well. And her passing also came about. How did that affect your whole life and your outlook on life?
In so many ways. Like my mom and I were best friends. We used to have like an amazing relationship, and it's not someone that got sick for a while. When someone gets sick, you're able to detach yourself from the whole situation and allow them to. But now, literally, my mom, at that time, she was healthy, she was fine. I went out, Sanyama, only to come back the following day, Ashonile.
Wow.
So it really hit me hard because I just moved back home. She forced me to move back home when I was going through my own turmoils in life, and then stayed with her. And I think that happened for a reason, because I got to spend so much time with her. And when I left the house that Sunday, she said to me, my tiles. And I was supposed to go and buy my tiles with her, and not knowing. And she didn't even ask for much. It was a birthday when you took this picture. And then she said, I'm going to present my tiles. And losing has been one of the most saddest things that have ever happened to me. And I think to everyone, my family, my sisters as well, my brothers, it's been so difficult without that woman.
Yeah.
Tandi was everything.
Sure, there's 6 of you there.
Yeah. What a beautiful family.
Gorgeous.
What an
Look at us,
absolutely beautiful family.
Aww. And I was always this bubbly, I was always the happy chappy.
Condolences to you and your family. May God give you guys strength. I want to speak a little bit about radio. You and Dineo gave Muse out their first break.
Yeah.
You were the first to play us.
No, because I was a fan.
Yes, you guys
Well
broke us
done,
out. That radio show was absolutely magical. And 4 years later, after knocking on Metro FM's door, you're back again on radio. Tell me about the journey to get back behind that mic. You said you fight for everything. Did you have to fight for this one?
I literally used to stalk them forever. I used to call Tony all the time. I remember I went there and I said to the whole marketing team when I did the Metro FM Awards in Durban, I sat down with people, because I'm one person, I'm not afraid to ask for anything.
Yeah.
So I sat down with them, I was like, guys, can I please do something, a stage? And then they're like, okay, cool. you can, because I've submitted so many demos, like Ben,
Brilliant.
you know, and then they call me to do Moses Mabita for the Metro FM Awards.
Yeah.
And then at that time, I'm thinking, I've made it. Next thing I know, I don't make it to the lineup. I was like, what's happening? I even say things like, okay, guys, help me to grow, teach me how to, you know, to get back on radio and stuff. And then when they called me this year, I remember very well, I didn't even try much. I was just like, hey, it is what it is. Then I get an email. Can we come and see you for a meeting? I'm like, okay. So when I get there, there's Timby some daughter. So I'm like, are we hired? What's happening? And when I sat down with them, and then they just said, here's your appointment letter.
Wow.
This is how much you're getting. This is the show that you're doing.
That's amazing.
And then there was it. I was like, oh my God. Even though now being on air, I am learning so much about radio.
Yeah.
Because I've forgotten how radio sounds, like how you talk to someone who's listening instead of visuals. So I am just learning what to say, what not to say. Because I usually call people midgets and say funny things. So I literally have to be called to order all the time. Be like, you need to
Like
understand.
now, like I need to call you to order now.
Okay.
Right. So being the 78-year-old that you are.
78?
No, I'm joking.
It's okay. Papi's 97, so it's fine.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
What would you tell your younger self, looking at where you are now and all the things that you've been through? Here is like for instance, I'm assuming a 7-8-year-old Bujy. What do you say to that guy?
I'll say to you, love yourself enough. Love yourself enough. You are amazing. I so wish I'd learned that before. I'll say love yourself enough, darling. Just, you know what? The things cover hear me, sir. Allow them to breathe with you.
Yes, allow them to breathe with you.
Allow them to breathe with you. I'll say that to that boy. I'll say that like passionately, so to say. If only I'd loved myself enough before, I think I'd have made better decisions and better choices. But because I used to see myself as overweight, or my talent being not good enough or not clicking with certain celebrities, and it really messed me up in terms of my confidence. But ever since I found myself turning 30, I'll say to that boy, love, breathe with them.
And eat the apple while you're at it.
Yes. Even though it's a bit like,
Aye, Bujy says.
So, okay, I'm going to quickly change the subject. Let's talk about the LGBTQIA community.
it's a lot though.
You forgot one.
What did I forget?
There's a P now.
P.
As well.
What does the P stand for?
Pansexual.
Okay.
You just close your eyes.
You just like things.
You just like it.
Okay, so LGBT, all protocols observed.
Yes.
All right, so do you see progress within the alphabet community? The LGBTQIA community within entertainment. Do you see progress for the community?
Yes, there's been a lot though. The likes of Mushendiki,
Yes.
Lasizwe, Bobo,
Feather Awards.
The Feather Awards. Like there's been a lot. Even though the Feather Awards, I just feel like they could really involve more gay guys
As opposed to straight people.
straight people. They just come there and clap hands. And then we need to
Defeats
wash
the purpose.
It's not nice.
But don't you think that that's important for any type of progress that you have an ally? Much like,
The
in
ally is
racial
dominating,
spaces?
that's the
Is that
problem.
okay?
The ally is
All right, well, I
dominating.
mean,
We are not recognized properly.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
it becomes more of, the sexiest guy, the hottest girl. And then you're just sitting there, you're just like, can it end already? Where's the bar?
Okay, well, let's take it back to the industry itself. Have you found people more accepting, more involved, more aware of issues, of whether people want to wear makeup or not, like, or any sort of representation? Have you seen the difference?
Not really, not as much as I would like to see it, like honestly speaking. It's there, but it's just one of those. It doesn't really have an impact, in terms of one's being, or like it's not enough.
So take that charge, baby.
It's not enough, says Bujy. Thank you so much. We're so proud of you. You're so talented producer, radio presenter. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd ask you for that blanket, but we probably need it. Thank you very much. Of course, we're going to go to What's Up on What's Up after this if we don't steal his blanket.
Hey.
Bujy.
I love that.
Tell the paparazzi get the lens right. Got the window down, top blown live. Got the hazard on the doom fire. You could catch me